The best fighters can smile in battle and enjoy their craft while the world watches. They're the artists who find rhythm in chaos, who let the crowd see their genius in motion. And when Naoya Inoue begins to showboat, you know the end is near. Because there is nothing more dangerous in boxing than an elite fighter in his flow state, that sacred zone where instinct, power, and precision merge into something otherworldly. For Inoue, it's never arrogance. It's expression. It's who he is. A performer at heart, a showman who just happens to be one of the most ruthless punchers alive. That rare combination has made him one of the most beloved and feared fighters of his generation. Rising through the ranks with knockout after knockout, Inoue's ascent was as inevitable as it was electrifying. Speed, power, pristine technique, and a mind that reads opponents like an open book, Naoya Inoue possessed all of it in abundance. His power wasn't just a byproduct of timing or leverage, it transcended divisions. And as he climbed weight class after weight class, he didn't just maintain that power, he weaponized it. Some of his most spectacular performances didn't come against smaller men, but against those who towered above him. Because Inoue's style, that perfect hybrid of sniper precision, brawler ferocity, and surgical craftsmanship, thrived on challenge. When he met Paul Butler, the stage was set not just for another victory but for a masterclass in controlled destruction. This was fighting as art. When the referee began counting over Butler, Inoue simply stepped back, calm and cold. Butler, dazed, tried to process what had hit him. He later admitted that he heard the referee's count, thought it was only at 3, and suddenly realized it was at 8. His body had failed him before his mind even understood. The knockout was inevitable. He couldn't get up. The monster had devoured another challenger. Before that night, Inoue had already carved through a lineup of world-class opposition. Many believed Jaime McDonnell would be the one to expose him, in a test of endurance and technique. They were wrong. Against McDonnell, Inoue was unrelenting, ending the fight in seconds and leaving the boxing world stunned. Then came Juan Carlos Payano, another veteran, another name on the list. Inoue flattened him with a single right hand, a message to the entire division that the monster was hunting titles and legacies, not just paydays. Next was the grudge match with Emmanuel Rodriguez, a fight that pitted technique against fury. Inoue delivered a demolition so violent it bordered on surgical. His combinations sliced through Rodriguez's guard with terrifying efficiency. Too fast, too accurate, too powerful, this was no ordinary champion. This was a fighter with eyes on immortality. But to reach that level, every legend must face an equal, a mirror that reflects their humanity. For Inoue, that mirror was Nonito Donaire. The first Inoue versus Donaire fight was a war, the kind that forges respect out of pain. Donaire, the wily veteran, refused to bow. He hit Inoue with punches that would have folded lesser men, and yet Inoue endured, adapted, and overcame. When the final bell rang, the monster had proven not just his power but also his heart. That night, Inoue was no longer just a destroyer, he was a complete fighter. By the time he met Jason Moloney, the monster was evolving again. Every jab sharper, every movement more deliberate. The gap between him and the competition grew wider with every bout. And when the Donaire rematch came, there were no doubts left. Inoue annihilated the legend he once battled tooth and nail, showcasing how far he had come. It was power refined, discipline perfected. Paul Butler entered the ring knowing exactly what awaited him. He was a brave man walking into a storm, hoping his chin and will could survive the onslaught. The first round began with optimism from his supporters, but any seasoned observer knew how this would end. Inoue's timing was razor-sharp from the opening bell, his punches landing with the precision of a sniper. Butler tried to stay composed, to earn respect, but Inoue read him instantly. By round 2, it was clear the gulf in class was massive. Inoue started to play with his food, cutting angles, trapping Butler like a predator testing its prey. Butler's corner shouted desperate instructions. "Make him respect you." But the Japanese champion was in complete control. Inoue doesn't just read opponents, he dissects them. Round after round, Butler's output dwindled. The fight became a one-sided exhibition of mastery. Inoue's combinations found every opening, body, head, back to the body, a rhythm that sounded like music, the kind only he could hear. By the middle rounds, Butler's spirit began to fade. His corner pleaded, his fans cheered, but everyone in that arena understood the inevitable truth. Inoue could have ended it earlier. He wanted to make a statement. By round 7, he was smiling, taunting, enjoying himself, that signature flow state that turns his fights into theater. Each punch was thrown with intent, but also with confidence, with artistry. Butler was tough, stubbornly refusing to fall, but every exchange chipped away at his resistance. When the end finally came in round 11, it was merciful. Inoue's barrage forced the referee to intervene, saving Butler from further punishment. The champion stood expressionless, another title unified, another legacy sealed. Butler, ever the warrior, would go on to fight twice more and win, but soon after he retired, knowing that he had seen the ceiling of human capability up close. 19 months later, the monster returned. The world watched again as Naoya Inoue prepared for another chapter in his ever-growing legend. His opponent this time was T.J. the Power Doheny, an Irish southpaw with real menace in his fists. Doheny was not some overmatched contender. He was a dangerous puncher with a 77% knockout rate, a fighter who had dismantled his last 3 opponents before the 5th round. His left hook was pure dynamite, a shot that could end any man's night in an instant. Inoue had faced elite fighters before, but Doheny brought something different, defiance. He had never been stopped, never been broken. And yet, standing across from Inoue, even he must have felt the weight of history pressing down. This was for the undisputed crown, for the right to be called the greatest in the sport. After conquering the bantamweight division, unifying all 4 belts, Inoue had stepped up to super bantamweight and immediately claimed dominance. He obliterated Stephen Fulton, the division's slickest technician, and then unified the belts by crushing Marlon Tapales in a brutal display of control. 6 months later came Luis Nery, a war that tested Inoue's resilience and reminded fans that even the monster could bleed. But he prevailed, as always, turning adversity into ammunition. Now, in September 2024, the stage was set once more, Ariake Arena, Tokyo. Inoue versus Doheny. Japan's hero against Ireland's power. The monster versus the man who had never been stopped. From the moment Inoue walked to the ring, the air was electric. He wore the calm face of a villain who knew the script was already written. Doheny, undefeated in 4 fights on Japanese soil, strutted in with confidence, his chin high, his gloves low. He smiled, taunted, perhaps believing he could intimidate the monster in his own kingdom. But as soon as the bell rang, the truth began to unfold. Doheny's bravado evaporated almost immediately. Inoue's right hand was faster, sharper, and meaner than anything he'd ever faced. The Japanese champion abandoned the jab and began firing missiles, looping rights, stabbing hooks, and punches that echoed through the arena. The Irishman tried to respond, loading up his signature left hook, but Inoue had already downloaded every piece of data he needed. The monster was dissecting his prey in real time. Each round became a chess match in motion. Doheny would feint, shift his stance, and look for the opening, and Inoue would meet him halfway, countering counters with chilling precision. The crowd could sense the tide turning. Every clean shot Inoue landed drew gasps. Doheny's confidence began to erode. He moved less and blinked more. The monster was closing the walls in. By the 4th round, Doheny's face was a roadmap of punishment. His bald head glistened under the lights, marked with red smudges from Inoue's relentless assault. Still, the Irishman kept throwing, brave but doomed. Each time he tried to unleash his left hook, Inoue slipped just outside range and answered with a brutal right hand. Then came the moment everyone in Tokyo felt, that shift, that pulse when Inoue entered his true form. The monster began to increase the tempo. Every combination flowed like water. Body, head, back to the body. Doheny was being beaten from every angle, searching for an escape that didn't exist. The monster had found his rhythm again, and the arena roared with every shot. Doheny tried one last rally, firing back with desperation, trying to earn the respect of a man who couldn't be intimidated. But it only fueled Inoue further. The Japanese champion dug in, his punches growing heavier, faster, and more violent. His expression never changed, just that cold, professional focus of a man executing a masterpiece. By the 7th round, Doheny's body could take no more. A series of punishing body shots ripped through his guard, folding him in half. He clutched his side, grimaced, and finally took a knee. The referee counted, and the Irishman stayed down. He had no choice. The monster had broken him, physically, mentally, and spiritually. As the count reached 10, the Tokyo crowd erupted. Naoya Inoue had done it again, another elite opponent reduced to rubble. Doheny struggled to stand, his body betraying him, his spirit still defiant but beaten. It was over. The monster had defended his unified super bantamweight titles and added yet another victim to his growing legend. In the aftermath, Doheny's corner tended to him, while Inoue stood calm in the center of the ring, expressionless as ever. He didn't celebrate wildly. He didn't need to. The performance spoke for itself. Power, speed, precision, and composure, all in perfect harmony. For Inoue, each fight isn't just a contest, it's a performance. A display of mastery that blurs the line between violence and art. His knockouts aren't born from reckless aggression but from patience, from the calculated dismantling of an opponent piece by piece. From his earliest days, Naoya Inoue has been a man chasing perfection. Each camp, each round, each punch thrown in the gym, all in pursuit of something greater than victory. Legacy. Greatness. Immortality. There's a saying among boxing purists, you can teach skills, but you can't teach instincts. Inoue embodies that truth. He doesn't think about openings, he feels them. He doesn't plan combinations, he flows through them. Watching him fight is witnessing intuition in motion, a rare gift that separates the good from the godlike. Even now, with championships in multiple divisions and the adoration of millions, Inoue's hunger remains unquenched. Each opponent is another puzzle to solve, another canvas to paint in blood and brilliance. Whether it's Fulton, Tapales, Nery, or Doheny, the result is always the same. They come to test him, and they leave humbled. How far can Naoya Inoue go? It's a question boxing fans ask with both excitement and fear. Because with every victory, he inches closer to that elusive greatest of all time conversation, a realm reserved for only the most transcendent. But greatness, for Inoue, isn't about comparison. It's about evolution. About becoming better today than he was yesterday. He has conquered Japan, conquered Asia, and conquered the world's divisions. And still, the monster hungers. New challenges will come, new rivals will rise, but history has already written its verdict. Naoya Inoue is more than a fighter. He is a force of nature. A living testament to what happens when skill, discipline, and a touch of madness collide. The monster doesn't just win, he transforms the ring into a stage, the bout into a masterpiece, and the opponent into part of the legend. Every time he steps through those ropes, the crowd can feel it, that silent understanding that they are about to witness something special. Because when Naoya Inoue fights, the world stops to watch. And when the monster smiles, you know someone's about to fall.